Gosh, we are back, ladies and gents, for another Hotspur Huddle. My screen, sorry, is lagging all over the gaff, so I may be jumping about the screen. But you know what? We're back. We don't want to talk about the Premier League in terms of how crap both our clubs are at the minute. So instead, we're going to do a quiz. I'm with you both tonight to do that and more. I'm joined, first of all, by Wes. Wes, it's great to have you back in. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I think you were right. We need the break. So international breaks come at a great time, I think, for everybody's sanity and their mental health. To be fair, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this quiz. I want to see what you've got, and put Nelson in his place.
I was going to say I wouldn't expect too much, to be honest with you. But I'm also joined by Nelson, and Nelson's got a brand new mic in the house. How are you, my friend?
I am doing good. Are we hearing me clearly? Mic check 1 2. Are we good?
1 2
Yes.
1
About
2.
to spit some bars. No, good to be back, Holly. And yeah, this quiz. I mean, I'm very excited. I don't know about my chances, but let's see how it goes.
Honestly, I don't know how well I've written them, so we'll see how it goes. But welcome to everybody else that is tuning in right now. That's going to go back, rewatch this later, and maybe have their chance at trying to do the quiz as well. But Wes, in true Holly fashion, as per usual, I haven't been organised enough to do a little intro for Kofa yet, so I'm going to let you do your thing. What is Kofa? Because this is the sponsor of the Hotspur Huddle. Go for it.
Yeah, so Kofa or Kickoff Football Academy Milton Keynes run lots and lots of different football sessions across the Milton Keynes area for young boys and girls. We've got a lot going on as well for different ability types. So if you have a young budding footballer, anybody watching or listening that is in the Milton Keynes area, then please send them our way because we'd love to help them along their footballing journey.
Lovely stuff. So make sure you go check out Kofa on everything. And without further ado, let's obviously move away from how crap Tottenham and Arsenal at the minute, because we're going to do our quiz tonight. Now, if you would like to get involved, there is a game pin on the screen. I'm a cheapskate, so there's only about 10-15 places. So if you want to get involved, I'd hurry up and sign up now. I have also put the pin in the comment section as well. So if you are lucky enough to be one of those budding 10 people or 8 people now, please do feel free to join. But yeah, how we kind of feeling, Wes? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
How about you, Nelson?
Hey, I don't know, but we're gonna have to find out. Especially because it's obviously based on this season, so I'm really hoping that my knowledge will crack up. I think all timer, I'd have a good chance, but this season, I don't know. But yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Right, without further ado, let's start this thing. Oh, I'm quite excited.
Here we go.
Now, do I need to read these out for everyone? Which player leads the Premier League in goals as of March 16th, 2025? Oh my God, that was so quick.
Yeah, the keys, Holly, the quicker you answer, the better your points are. So Wes knows that. I know he knows that.
Yes. It's fine. Nelson, it's fine. Nelson's going to crack in a minute. It's fine.
Number 2. Which team is on the verge of securing Champions League qualification for the first time in 45 years?
Yo. Okay.
Oh.
Damn.
Oh my Lord. Uh-oh.
Who's cracking?
It's fine.
It's early doors.
Yeah, but if there's not that many questions, I ain't got much room for manoeuvring.
Who became the first player to score a hat-trick for penalties in the Premier League match since 1957?
I thought this was based off this season.
It is, bro. You're too slow.
Oh.
I've got to think, man. I didn't realise I had to do this much thinking.
Told you, man. I'll probably hit it out of the park.
Mate.
I'm like a professional in quizzing now.
You're going to be on a chase next week. Yeah.
Which team has conceded the fewest goals in the Premier League this season? Boom.
Oh, mate.
Let's do this. It's my squad. Of course. What are you doing? You're in the mud. Man. He's absolutely in the mud, guys.
I'm in the mud.
Come on, boys.
I'm going to get the thanks for coming award here. Oh, this is unreal.
Who is the most fouled player in the Premier League this season? Securing 115 free kicks.
Holly, that's a great question.
Oh, mate. It's going to have to be him, surely. Yeah.
There we go. I feel like you took too much time there, though.
Yeah, mate, I'm having to think. Nelson's pressing random buttons, and I feel like I'm on the chase here with the pressure Pressure one.
Which goalkeeper has conceded the most goals this season, but still ranks third among goalkeepers for total points?
Total points.
Total points
okay.
for what though? Like,
I don't
are we
know.
talking? Right, I'm going in.
No, I'm going in. Okay. Oh, I was wrong. Okay. I'll take
What's
that.
his name? What's his name? Nelson, what's his name? Sing it on the mic.
My name's not Andre.
Oh, no. What's his name?
Oh, that new mic.
Yeah, it's good, man.
Bosh, see, we're back in the game, ladies and gents. We are back in the
Oh.
game.
Next one. Which team has the easiest remaining schedule according to a supercomputer analysis?
What on earth is this question, by the way?
I
This
think
is
I know.
outrageous behaviour.
No, it's actually, yeah. I'm gonna go for these guys. I'm gonna go for them. Yeah.
Boom. Right, next one. Who leads the Premier League in assists as of March 16, 2025? You say this is American.
Bro, you need to be quick with this. Everyone knows the answer to this.
Yes, but there's the curveballs, Nels. You know about the curveballs in Kahoot, right?
Yeah, but is there curveballs if I've written it? That's the thing. Which player has made the most successful dribbles this season with 65?
Mate. Oh, no.
I'm gonna go for a wild card here. I don't know. But I'm gonna go for a wild card. Ah,
Oh.
That maybe was
okay.
a curveball.
That was a
Oh.
curveball. I went for Dayan because I thought he's been phenomenal with his dribbles. So
Yeah.
There
Damn,
you go.
I needed that one as well.
yeah, you could have needed with that one. Yeah.
I think this is the last one. I've rattled
Oh,
through
mate.
these.
There's
Mate,
no
I'm
way.
having
Last
an
one
absolute-
already.
I think so.
Wrap it
There
up,
was-
Holly. Give me
there
the
was-
chip.
There wasn't many I could like do enough.
I think there's 12 questions. We got 3 more left. 3
Oh,
more.
okay. See, I can't do maths either. Right, next one. Which goalkeeper has the most clean sheets this season as of March 2025?
I
No!
Cells. I knew it was Cells. I just thought, let me go for
Oh.
my squad. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Okay. It's all right. It's all
Me,
right.
Matt Sells, and I.
Which team has accumulated the most yellow cards this season?
Mate, do me a favour.
I love that gift, Holly. I love that.
I only realised there was gifts towards the end.
Ah,
Mate.
Chelsea. All right. So basically, I've secured the chip. I can get this question wrong, but
Right,
I'm
this
good.
is the last one. Who is it? Only English team that Huddle
Oh my
has not
gosh.
scored
Yes,
against.
yes, I think I've got this.
Wait, what?
Boom!
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You absolutely guessed that, Nelson.
No. I did. I was like, shoot.
Oh dear.
In third place was no one.
Woo, that was me.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Tell him again. Yeah.
Wowee.
It's the whole Marcus Rashford celebration, Holly. I got to use it. Point to the head because Wes didn't use it.
Oh no, that was probably the most quickest Kahoot I've ever done.
Play it again and we'll see who wins.
Nah.
See who's got the quickest tapping system. Well, there we go, ladies and gents. That was the quickest quiz known to man. I must admit I did maybe use a little bit of ChatGPT to help me write it. But then I was too petrified that ChatGPT had got it wrong, so then I had to end up Googling it anyway, because it was stressing me out. But now your victory speech. What do you have to say?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have to thank the Almighty High God for all of this. But also at the same time, look, I just like to point out that Wes has always been in the mud, will remain in the mud, and will never get out of the mud. So this is how it goes. Look, come back again for the next quiz if you happen to set another one up, Holly. Maybe it could be one for the end of the season. All timer, I'd back myself. Look, this guy is not it. Look, he's distracted from everything that's been going on this season. The fact that he's had to think is because he's had to think at how bad you guys have been this season. That's how it's been. And I think he's wasted a lot of time. So, no, I'm happy. Look, a win is a win. A win is a win. A win is a win. Sorry, Wes. I just got to say it.
Well, there was commiserations. Obviously, it didn't quite secure the W this time. What have you got to say to get back at Nelson?
Well, it's obviously nice for Nelson to obviously win something. He knows his team aren't going to win anything. Bottling the league again for the third year in a row. So yeah, I mean, you can take it. You can win the battle, Nels, but you won't win the war. Don't panic. I will be back. Don't worry. All right. Yeah, too much information going on for my brain at this time. I need questions to be a bit simpler. But yeah, no, I need to just obviously go away, take a long, hard look at myself. But yeah, I have a feeling most of those were like FPL based questions as opposed to general Premier League questions. So obviously I'm new to FPL. So, give me a bit of a chance next time, please.
So, have you been watching Ange Postecoglou too long and been giving up excuses for your performance tonight?
Listen, it's just who we are, mate. So, yeah, it's just who we are.
I must admit, I did use ChatGPT to help me write them because my brain obviously wasn't going to think of many. But they were quite difficult, to be fair. When I was copying and pasting them in, I was a bit like, this is quite hard. But
that's actually got to give it up to you. Props for setting up the quiz.
Next time it will be a lot longer. And I don't really want to go just yet. So as much as I didn't want to talk about how bad we've been the last week or so, should we just do it anyway to have a little bit of a therapy session?
If we have to. Christ almighty.
I mean, Nelson's got his new mic, so we can't just leave it there. We've got to actually proper delve into things.
I feel like Nelson's going to give us a rendition of something, maybe like Sweet Caroline or something, just to bring the good times back or something along those lines.
Oh dear, no, I know. I mean, I got 7 right on the chase today. There you go. Maybe we need to do a sub.
Mate, he's going on University Challenge next week now after that.
Oh dear. But no, let's obviously bring it back to, down to earth and say we will be doing another quiz. I think at the end of the season I might add a few more easy questions in there, a few ways. But we'll do that again at the end of the season. But Nelson, I'll come to you first because obviously now it's international break. It does feel quite nice because probably like Spurs and with Arsenal, it's been a little bit of a rocky road at the most. So what are your kind of, I don't want to say aspirations, but what do you hope comes of when you come out of international break and kind of hit the ground running again with the rest of the Premier League and obviously Champions League?
I think it's just finish the season strong. I think that's what both teams are looking to do coming back after the international break. I think most teams are gonna hope or are hoping that all their players come back injury free. Because that's obviously the worst thing when you go on international break. It's not just the boredom of having to watch the international games, it's actually the fear of some of your players coming back injured. So fingers crossed, but I think it's just finishing the season strong, Holly. I think from an Arsenal perspective is more about finishing the season strong in the league. I think Liverpool are they've ran away with it now, and just finishing the season strong and winning as many games as possible. Obviously, they say never give up until it's over, so you never know. But I think, speaking from personally, I'm just going to say that the league is over. I think that the Champions League is where the focus needs to turn for Mikel Arteta and the side. A huge tie-up coming up with Real Madrid in the quarterfinals, and I think he just has to go all out. The likes of Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli coming back fit after the international break will be a huge boost for our squad. So I just think the team need to focus on that and looking to go all guns blazing against Real Madrid. So we'll see how it happens, because I think there is a very big chance if we do well against Madrid and end up going through to the semis, I think the club needs to look at potentially winning it all.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's the same scale as Spurs was, but it is literally do or die for Ange Postecoglou in our next game against Frankfurt. What are your kind of thoughts and feelings, obviously going into that international break, and what do we need to do when we come back?
Yeah, Hala Madrid and all that as well, by the way. Throwing that one out there. Yeah, I think from a Spurs perspective, it kind of feels like all the eggs in that Europa League basket. But at the same time, I have a feeling if we get past Frankfurt, we might be all right. Because I think Frankfurt potentially and probably is going to be, I wouldn't say the hardest game, because there's no easy games in football. But I look at the state of the opponents after. I know Lazio are no mugs, but I think if we get past Frankfurt, then I think we've got obviously a really, really good chance of being successful in the Europa League. So yeah, I think, and then coming off the back of the international break, I think we just have this feeling every time an international break comes where we just go, sod it, international, no one really cares about the game prior to it. So we end up dropping an absolute stinker. And then, yeah, we have to stew on it for 2 weeks and then come back and try and build up again. So yeah, I think obviously, like I say, all the eggs in the Europa League basket. Let's see what we can do. I feel like Ange isn't in the greatest position for him because it feels like his job is hanging by a thread, and it's almost like if he doesn't do anything in the Europa League, then that's him gone. And I don't think that's a healthy position really to be in. Like, I'm not saying we will because I can't see it personally, but we could go on an incredible run till the end of the season, go unbeaten if you like, and really shoot up the league. And then obviously, if we lose in the Europa League, it's like, well, that's it, mate. See you later. It feels like an inevitability with Ange. It feels like a case of when and not if. But I think we as a football club need to be really, really careful. And I say that because look at Man United. Obviously, there was rumours with Ten Hag. You know, are they going to get rid, etc., etc. They kind of kept hold of him because of what was going on in the FA Cup. They kept him. He won the FA Cup, and then it was like, right, we can't sack him now because he's won a trophy. And then, you know, come October, he was out the door. So that's my big fear is that if Ange and if Spurs were to win the Europa League, Ange stays, but yet the culture, the environment around the club stays the same, and then we don't necessarily get off to the best of starts next season, and then he's gone, and it's like, well, what was the point in keeping him on anyway? I think the interesting thing that I saw today was I know you can't always go off of these, but like the betting odds for Tottenham's next permanent manager. So Pochettino's got the same odds as the other so-called favourites, if you like, your Iriolas, your Marco Silvas, your Thomas Franks, that all seem to sort of be in contention. And, you know, yes, he's added fuel, if you like, to that fire by saying he'd love to come back. But yeah, it's one of them where you can't ignore that. But I don't want Poch to come back because I want to remember the good times and everything else that we had under him. But it feels like we need him back as opposed to wanting him back, if that makes sense.
I think so as well. He's coming back when we're in a worse position than what we was when he left, I think. And going back to obviously your point about Anne, I kind of see it as in keep him. If we win the Europa League, get rid of him anyway. I think that's kind of what we need to do in a sense that, okay, you leave on good terms, you got us a trophy, sweet. It's not going to work further on after this. Done, dusted, move on. Because, like you said, we could get into a Ten Hag kind of situation, and I don't think anybody wants that.
But then also, Holly, look at the state of the club that Pochettino walked into.
True.
Very, very similar. It was probably the only difference I could probably define, like I can really look at, is when Poch came in, there was a lot of big egos there. There was a lot of players there kind of nicking a wage. Whereas now if he comes back, there's more youthfulness in the squad. It feels a little bit fresher in that sense. Like there's not too many players there that were, you know, in effect kind of stinking the place out. I think there's less of that now. So I think actually if Poch is to come back, he walks into a much better, a much healthier squad than the one he inherited. And I think it's just tweaks. Yes, there's probably going to be a bit of an overhaul because he wants certain players in, but I don't think it's as big of a job for me personally. I don't think it's as big of a job as the one that he would have inherited first time round if he is to come back, should the club and the people at the top swallow their pride and look to call him. But then at the same time, he's in a job, and he's in a job that has some half decent expectations on him because he's got a USA team, as you know, me and Nelson speak about this all the time, that are primed and ready to make an impact on a big stage. And I think they are looking at this World Cup that they're hosting and going, yeah, this is the time. You know, you've got good players there that are known across the Europe scale, if you like. So people know about the players that the USA have. They know the talent that they've got. And it feels like now this is the time for them to be able to achieve something.
It's just weird that he's been flirting with the idea of coming back, and I kind of get it because obviously it feels like his first love. but I'd never go back to an ex. That's just how I kind of feel about it. Nelson, obviously, with you not being in the Tottenham circle and seeing the stuff that we see on Twitter on the daily at the moment about Ange, about new managers coming in, the potential Poch coming back, what's your kind of take on the whole situation at Spurs at the moment?
You guys know what my opinion on Ange. I think I said last week that I feel really sad for him just because I think there was a vision there, and I just don't think it's been executed to the way he wanted it to kind of be executed. I think obviously the board haven't supported him. So I actually agree with you, Holly, when you mentioned your point about if you guys end up winning the Europa League. I think that's finishing on good terms. I think the club and I think Ange and the fans could end, amicably, and then just move on from that. So it's a bit of a weird one. I personally think he should stay just because I see something in him as a coach. And if you were to buy into him, I know that the state that we were in 5 years ago is completely different now. And I think if you were to give him that time, but I think everyone knows at the club and the fans know it's bigger than Ange himself. It's not just him. There's a lot more going on, and once that clicks, then everything works out. So that's kind of my view from an outside perspective. But I do agree with you. I think after looking at this season and how it's kind of gone and how the fans have reacted to games and poor performances, if he does, I think just go out, put all the eggs in one basket and just kind of go out for the Europa League. And if it does end up being successful, then yeah, go out on good terms.
I think the thing is, it's just so bloody toxic at the moment, and I'd never want to load up Twitter and see all the stuff that's on there. But at the moment, Wes, it's like you scroll a little bit and you're like, "Oh Jesus, why did I come on this app?" And I think that's just kind of the general consensus at the moment.
Yeah, and I think there is a part of me that goes, look, I think the sensible fans, if you like, have been quite patient. Really, like it's only really when you go on Twitter and you can tell people haven't really been to any games or have never watched football with their eyes and they are stats and data driven. Because I think there has been some games where we have lost, but actually we've played okay. I think that the thing is, like, you can see that the players haven't down tools, which is a slight positive. But at the same time, and like, you want Ange to succeed because he's a sort of likable bloke, but you can't ignore 15 league defeats. You can't ignore the way in which we've gone out of the cup competitions. But then, I think I said it on Sunday on the Park Lane podcast, like, there's a cultural issue at Tottenham, and Tottenham are not built and set to win. That's the biggest issue with the football club. We are not set to win things. You look at Arsenal, have got a history of winning, and yes, they went away from that for a period of time. Obviously, when they transitioned into the Emirates, and it was about getting into the top four, and the fans accepted that. I think then it was like, okay, we've had our time with the new stadium thing. That's paid off for now. What's our next step? Can we look to compete again? Obviously, you're going to have peaks and troughs in that. You've got the culture at Man United, which was set to win. You've got, when Abramovich came in at Chelsea, it was the culture is to win. The owners come in at City, it's we are going to create a culture to win, and they've been very successful in doing that, both on and off the pitch. You look at Liverpool, there was that culture of winning, and you see that around the place with a history. And I think Liverpool's probably the only club where owners have really gone in, where the culture's already been kind of set there. Like, they don't really have to do too much. Like I say, Chelsea, Abramovich had come in, spent, then you get that winning feeling, and things like that. And Tottenham's culture, especially in the last, 15 or so years, has been top four. And that, for us, it feels like top four for the board is a trophy.
Mm.
Whereas we want something attainable. We want the pots. Whereas they're looking at, people at the top obviously looking at balance sheets and things like that. Then you get this whole now issue with the ticketing ahead of next year and stuff like that, which is really, really frustrating. And it feels like there's people working for the football club who claim to be Tottenham fans, but are out of touch with Tottenham fans, and it stinks of it at Tottenham at the moment. Like, it's probably one of the only clubs, I would argue, that is probably, barring Man United, because I think I don't know how, but they've managed to get somebody in who's just as bad, if not worse, than Levy in Sir Jim. But it feels like Tottenham, for me, as a club, feels like there's so much disconnect now between the fans and the team and the board and everything else. And you look at our best players in recent weeks, they're kids. They're all our best players recently are under the age of 21 years old. This is Tottenham Hotspur Football Club we're talking about here. One of the richest clubs in the world. Yeah, your best players are kids. Like, it's not normal. So something has to change, and it has to be a cultural reset at this football club in order for us to be successful. People can look at the success off the pitch. Yeah, great, but it's not gonna do much when your product on the pitch is failing. Like, if in any successful business, if the product that you're selling is failing, someone is getting the sack.
There you go. Bosh. Heard it there first. And I think you're true. I think I always go back to the point of, I don't know why Daniel Levy doesn't want this football club to be successful, because you'll generate more money and more stature. It's just beyond me. But Nelson, we'll flip it on its head. Come to you quickly before obviously you kind of wrap things up, because I want to put it on like an Arsenal kind of thing as well. In terms of, obviously, it's kind of like a same sort of catch-22 for you. Do you think if you don't win Champions League this season, is Arteta's head getting slowly and slowly more on a plate of going, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you can't. I think you have to put it in question that his job is on the line, because I think he's come in. The board have given him time. They've given him money. He's made the signings, and time again, this is probably be the third season in a row where this is an example of giving someone time, but then he's not executed the plan and the vision. And I think in terms of Arteta's vision, I think we peaked a year too early when I think season 22-23. I think no one had expected us to just blow everyone out the water like that first half of the season. And then talk started to happen of like, are we going to actually now win the title? And then obviously lack of experience, I think, played a big factor in City ended up winning. And then the season after, which was last season, obviously the players have that experience of a title run-in, but end up obviously missing it at the end of the line.
It's called bottling it, Nels.
No, I think at the end of the day, I think you just need to look at Arteta and actually put his job in question. I think he definitely, there will be questions raised about whether or not he is the man to lead us over the line. I think I said it about a few weeks ago that he's taken us to that next step, but is he the guy to actually get us over the line? And we saw that many a time. Obviously, we're in an international break now, and Gareth Southgate took England to that next level. But now they've brought in Thomas Tuchel, and who knows if he's that person to get us over the line. So I see it kind of like that. And I am one, like Wes mentioned, being a sensible fan. Look, I wouldn't put in question. I think that he could go, but I do think Arsenal fans won't panic if he does go, because I think the fact that they've given him time means that I think they trust the board to give the next person maybe that same amount of time, but also just trust to them build their vision. So that's kind of how I see it, Holly. I do think Arteta questions will be raised if he doesn't go all the way this season.
No, and I think, like you said, as much as I don't want to sit here and say, your board are seeming to do things the right kind of way, like you say, you've given him time, you've given him a lot of money, you've given the players he wants, you've given the backing. If it's not going to get to the point where you're going to win something this season, then maybe it is time to kind of part ways.
I feel like Holly, sorry to jump in there. I feel like Arsenal now were Tottenham 5-6 years ago, but the difference is Arsenal's board have been, you would argue, a little bit more supportive of Arteta in that transfer market in terms of getting in the players that he wants. Obviously, we know the issues that Poch had, and I think that's probably the biggest difference. Like, Arteta's, like as Nelson said, has got them so far. Is he that one to, pick up a League Cup or an FA Cup, so the players get that sense and that flavour of winning, and then it's like, right, we've done that now, let's go again, let's go for the next one, and let's see if they can win the league, because I think that's probably Arsenal's better chance. Obviously, it's not going to happen this year, but I think winning the Champions League for Arsenal, I mean, if they did it, it would be an absolute travesty. Of course it would for football, but it's almost that, like, is that the step kind of too far? It's one of those where, yes, we've seen Arsenal competing at the top, try and go that next step to win that. And then once you've got that Premier League in, right, now we go for Europe, and now we go for the Champions League. So I think, obviously, Arsenal's route to the Champions League final is going to be incredibly difficult. And I don't know if there's enough within that Arsenal team and squad to get over the line in the Champions League. I know obviously we fluked our way pretty much to a Champions League final. So, you know, who knows? Luck and the gods might be shining on Arsenal this year, and they might get to that final, and then obviously lose to Barcelona or whatever, or Bayern Munich. You know, so Harold Edward Kane with the winning
No,
penalty or whatever.
I can't
You know.
have. Wes, I kid you not. I can't have. Sorry to interrupt, but I can't have that man destroy our Champions League hope because I can see it happening. He scores in every game.
Feed generations, bro.
He scores in every game, and I rate him as a striker. And I told you guys I want him to win something this season. I do hope it's more the Bundesliga than it is the Champions League at the expense of Arsenal. So we're gonna have to wait and see.
But yeah, I just feel like Arsenal now are in that moment where we were 5 years ago, and it's like, okay, if they do get rid of Arteta, are they going to go bang right? Let's get a serial winner in, because obviously they feel like as a club they're in a better place to attract that real top elite manager that does get over the line and is that serial winner. Obviously, we tried it, chased our tail, and didn't work, and then we're going, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done the thing that we did previously. So there might be a little bit of a warning for Arsenal potentially, and just in case, like, be careful what you wish for. But I think, yeah, Arsenal in this moment are probably where we were, you know, not that long ago. You know, they laughed at us for being in that moment as well, by the way. So, you know. Yeah, karma, Nelson. Karma.
No, you're right. Some fans did laugh at. I mean, I think I told you guys. I remember telling Wes that I always wanted to see Tottenham and Arsenal compete in bigger things, whether it's, you know, fighting for the Premier League or in, like, I think cup finals was the one for me. I wanted the North London derby that meant that something was on the line. Obviously, we've done top four. We haven't done the Premier League like that, but I think something like a cup final, I think that is what this derby deserves because it's the best derby in the league. So, yeah.
No, it is going to be shaping up. It's like I say, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of the season kind of shapes up after this international break. I feel like it's still going to be as turbulent as we've had it all year for our clubs. So it will be very interesting. But guess what? We get to do it every Wednesday when I decide to turn up. So without further ado, we'll go around the table. First of all, Nelson, I'm coming to the victory man of tonight's very short quiz. But you still won. So where can everybody find you doing your thing?
Thank you for having me again. You can find me on Instagram at nnatumba25. So that's N and then my last name Tumba25 on Instagram. And thank you for seeing my mic in action, live and direct.
Oh yeah, I can't wait now. I'm gonna love Wednesdays with this one. Not that I don't love it already, but it's gonna be even better now. But Wes, like I say, commiserations for losing tonight's quiz. It was very, very short. So hopefully when I do another one, you'll have a bit of time to obviously catch back up. But where can everybody find you doing your thing?
Yeah, so obviously Nelson saying live and direct is AJ Tracy, and obviously AJ Tracy's a Spurs fan, so just throwing that one out there. I think Nelson is a secret closet Spurs fan. You should ask him for his love of Heung-min Son. It's a better love story than Twilight, guys, honestly. But anyway, where can people find me? Is Twitter at Wezo10, unofficial Mousse Dembele fan account, as people know, usually tweeting about the best Belgium. Absolutely gutted that he's not in the Legends game next week or this weekend, because I'd have probably, you know, cancelled every single plan that I had to be there just to see him for one last dance, because I needed that in my life. And then Instagram's at Wezo32. Yeah, usually at a Spurs game. I'm at the next home game against Southampton, Holly, which I believe you are in attendance for as well.
I am indeed, yeah.
So, yeah, look forward to that one. We may or may not cross paths, who knows. And then obviously Kofa, Kickoff Football Academy, Kofa MK, across all your socials for anything football coaching related. We have got an Easter camp coming up, so coming up with some new and cool ideas for that. So yeah, spaces are filling up actually, so across both weeks. So if there is anybody watching, they need to get their child booked in ASAP before all the spaces go.
Oh, nice. Make sure you go check out Kofa. Like I said, I actually forgot. Not that I forgot I was going to that game, but I forgot it's like it seems quite far away. But with international breaks, mixes everything up. But like I say, thank you everybody that's watched tonight. Please go ahead and go back and replay the quiz. See if you can beat Nelson and Wes with your answers. Like I say, we'll be back next week. But sadly, Nelson has actually got a better offer next week. To be fair, I'd probably go because he's watching Arsenal women play next week. So me and Wes will be on the show to do a Tottenham quiz. I we'll make sure it's longer than 12 questions as well. But like I say, thank you to everybody that's watched. And like we always say, until next time, all you Spurs.
Go on, you Spurs.
Ah.